Laces Production.
This is No Chill, and you are officially in the No Chill zone. Grab some popcorn or some tea, whatever is your fancy, and sit back and let's get into it. I'm going to be dropping some trending conversations, and I'm going to wait to the very end to add in my opinions. Make sure to add in yours as well. I want to hear them, and I want to know what's up. Let's get into it. Let's hear what these people have to say today.
There was a report that came out that claimed that a woman walking on her soon-to-be husband breastfeeding from his mother. Which brings us to our topic for today, Sigmund Freud. Was he right? Was he wrong? Was he half right? Was he half wrong? Sigmund Freud was a neurologist in the 1800s, and he was also the creator of psychoanalysis. He's kind of a controversial figure because A, a lot of his theories are unpopular because they make people uncomfortable, but B, a lot of his theories he never practically tested. He just asserted them as what he personally believed to be true. One of his more famous theories, which relates to the beginning of this video, was the Oedipus complex. The story of Oedipus is from ancient Greece. It's a story of a man who is cursed with the knowledge that he is going to one day kill his father and sleep with his mother. He refuses to fulfill this prophecy and yet ends up doing just that. During his self-analysis, Freud asserted that everybody has feelings similar to Oedipus, in layman's terms, that everybody has an unconscious attraction to their parent of the opposite sex. He also claimed that this is a universal thing that everybody is unconsciously biased towards. After seeing the success of the play of Oedipus in Germany and France in the 1880s, it only further confirmed to him that this was something that a lot of audience members could subconsciously identify with. He basically said the Oedipus complex is the root of why some children exhibit extreme favoritism or hostility towards certain parents at the height of the phallic phase. This is controversial for a lot of reasons because A, most people are like, hey, I actually don't want to fuck my dad. But B, he also had this thing where he considered there to be a positive and a negative form of this, the positive being where a child correctly exhibits sexual attraction towards the opposing sex parent, the negative form being where it's the opposite. He basically goes on to say that okay, don't worry about it though, because after puberty, you just end up substituting that desire with a suitable, appropriate, non-relative partner. But he goes on to say that despite that, it continues to be an unconscious bias that you carry for the rest of your life, and it affects a lot of your choices. So the big question is, especially when we see stories like the news story I started with, is he low-key fucking right? Every day I see people get on TikTok, I see somebody proving Freud right, it's fucking terrible, I need them to stop. He never tested his theories, and yet every day I'm seeing evidence. And there was actually a pretty famous study that came out in 2010 that asserted that Freud was half right. The study was, they showed people a bunch of faces, and then people showed an unconscious bias towards faces that resembled their own. The reason why they asserted that it was only half right is because it wasn't faces that necessarily resembled the parent of the opposite gender, it was more so proving that familiarity is what we're biased toward. So what do y'all think? Y'all think Freud was right? Y'all think Freud was wrong? Do you have evidence? I'm tired, honestly.
Did you know that Sigmund Freud was a homosexual man whose best friend was a pedophile? Okay? You can be upset with me all you want, but that is absolutely a fact, and you should have been able to garner that really just from what he spoke about, what he wrote about. You can obviously understand the themes of children and sex. He was obsessed with it almost. He introduced concepts of children being sexual at birth, psychosexual development theory, the seduction theory, all surrounded around children. He had a very strange relationship, you can look this up, with his best friend, Wilhelm Fliess, who, if you're interested in Wilhelm Fliess, sexually abused his own son, Robert Fliess. Now, how do we know this? Candace, where are you getting this fact that wasn't introduced to me via the public education system? Well, I want you guys to look up, if you're interested, this scholar. His name is Dr. Jeffrey Masson, and he was the project director for the Sigmund Freud archives. He was on pace to become the director. He decided to learn German so that he could go through all of those Freud archives, and then he was quite disturbed by what he discovered. He said, wait a second. Actually, Sigmund Freud is covering up for his pedophile friends. This is the theory of Masson. And guess what happened after that? Masson was dismissed from his role as director altogether. He was dismissed from a person that was allowed to access the archives anymore, despite the fact that he has a Harvard PhD. He's done everything right. Just telling the truth seemed like an act that community was not willing to accept. And he says, release the archives. If I'm lying, release all of the archives. His theory is that when Freud realized through his work, speaking with children, that a lot of them had been sexually assaulted, and that was leading to their various mental disturbances, Freud presented that information to his peers, and his peers got upset. So imagine you're Sigmund Freud and you go to your peers, all of these other sex pathologists and psychiatrists and psychologists, and you say, hey, just so you know, these kids that I'm seeing, they're disturbed because they were sexually assaulted. And then his peers were like, no, that can't be what happened. Among the peers that were upset with his thesis was renowned sex pathologist Richard von Krafft-Ebing. He was also a psychiatrist, of course. And in case you're interested, he coined the term masochism. Richard also wrote books. He was particularly interested in homosexuality. His book, Psychopathia Sexualis, he published that in 1886. He defined homosexuality as an innate neuropsychopathic disorder, essentially a hereditary nervous disease. And then he took that diagnosis to advocate for the decriminalization of homosexuality, arguing that homosexuals were not responsible for their malformation and that homosexuality was not contagious. He also wrote about sex and children, sex with children. In his book, General Pathology, in chapter 5, he writes about sex crimes with children and uses the term, actually for the first time, pedophilia erotica. So yeah, it's interesting. And I should also note, because I have a compelling thesis myself, that during this time, yes, homosexuality was criminalized. It was something that was criminalized all throughout a lot of different countries. And so you could understand why men that were perhaps homosexual themselves would be perhaps writing theses to say, actually, none of this is a crime. So what did Freud do after he presents this information and the entire Vienna Psychiatric Society says, no, we don't like this thesis, when all of his friends are going, this doesn't work? Well, then Freud does a complete 180 and he starts blaming the children for their memories, positing theories that children were actually sexual by nature. And then the psychiatric community loved Freud. They were like, oh my God, you're so amazing. We're going to put you everywhere. This is just so contemporary and thoughtful. It's just groundbreaking.
Sigmund Freud said that women have penis envy, but actually it was Freud who had it. One of his most famous and discredited theories is that when female children realize they don't have a penis, they feel deprived and envious of male children. But in real life, Freud had penis envy. See, in his 60s, he became impotent, and he was really jealous of men whose junk actually worked. He heard about an experimental medical procedure called penis rejuvenation. A doctor ties off the tubes that release sperm like a vasectomy, thinking that it would cause the man's body to overcompensate and produce more sex hormones and increase his libido. The theory was total crap, but Freud was so jealous of men with working penises, he actually had the surgery in 1926. Spoiler alert, it didn't work!
MB Part 3. German psychoanalyst Karen Horney disagreed with Freud and argued that women did not envy men for their penises, but rather for the power that they possess in society. Her theoretical rebuttal to penis envy was a new theory called womb envy, the idea that men felt envious of women because of the biological functions of the female sex, particularly the power that women held to create and sustain human life. She suggested that men cope with their envy by overcompensating and claiming their superiority over women. Her critiques led to the formation of feminist psychology.
Yeah, that women supposedly feel envious of dudes because, I don't know, we lack a peen. But is that true, ladies? Really? Let me know in the comments. Let's take that for a moment and flip it on its head and maybe think about it and realize that it's all projection. That the real envy does not really lie with women, but actually with the dudes. Because, I don't know, think about it. Women actually have the profound ability to create life, and men just simply do not, right? And yeah, we have like a unique power that had been revered for a long time. Like, we had a history of fertility goddesses and mother figures and you know, Mother Earth and all these myths and religions all celebrating the fact that women could create life, because who do you think was the first god? Could it have been subconsciously though, just the envy of this power, right? Maybe because they were unable to actually create life, they actually have this feeling and sense of inadequacy, right? Maybe maybe this envy could have been just them projecting their thoughts onto women. Maybe they think that women think just like them and they're trying to manifest their destiny or their dominance or whatever. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. I don't know. Next time you consider having peen envy, maybe think about it twice and like think about how you might actually just have womb envy, because that's what it is, right? That's really what it is. Please just stop lying to me and just be real with yourself. Seriously. Okay?
Shall we call for the truth? In point of fact, we know, and it is traditional to understand, that the earth is feminine, and that the way that humanity has treated the earth is as if it is jealous of the earth. And the way that the earth is treated is a disgrace. It is the same level of treatment as the women who walk on the back of the mother. So this is womb envy.
I want what you got, and
This
I'm
is
gonna replicate
womb
it.
envy.
Yeah, not penis envy. It's
This
really
is
womb.
womb envy. This is the soft underbelly of the modern man, is that he thinks he's better, when in point of fact, we are one. Silence is consent. Join us in speaking up. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
That's that, and that's a wrap. That's the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one, and right now I'm actually going to get in my thoughts. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And of course, you don't have to stay to listen to what I have to say. You can move right along, or if you want to, you can move right along into the comment section and talk about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I want to hear it. Okay? All right. So I actually noticed that Sigmund Freud would have has so much in common with today's DRs in the same field, and it's kind of scary. Has anything actually changed, even though they have debunked all this? Because I remember when I was in college, they were talking up this dude. They were saying how amazing he was and how he was like the ultimate psychiatrist or philosopher. Anyways, so yeah, tell me why he is supposed to be like some groundbreaking, intelligent dude when he has literally got these thoughts circulating in society, and people really still believe this. At least Candace Owens doesn't. And by all means, I am not a conservative. I am not a liberal. I am not any of that. I am actually more of a moderate. I have my own opinions. I think for myself. So I don't know, I can agree and I can disagree with whoever I want to, and I don't have to pick sides. So with that said, I definitely agree with Candace Owens, and I'm glad that she spoke up on it. I am also really, really pleased that someone actually did speak up on, what is her name? Karen Horney? Yeah, I really am really happy that someone actually spoke up about this, and that for so long people, there was actually a feminist who has been speaking on this, who wrote about this, and has basically proven Freud wrong this whole time. And it's really nice to see other creators like Dr. What is that? Dr. Priya, PhD? All right. So actually, I'm so happy that Dr. Priya, a PhD, God, so much to say. All right. So I'm so happy that she actually found this woman and made a whole segment about her. So make sure that you go find this lady and you go check out her stuff, because she just seems so intelligent. Okay. So she's probably got so much more too. So if you want to support some other females, there you go. There's your girl right there. All right. I don't know what else to say, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Laces Production.